Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Indie Zone podcast. My name's Kathy. We are continuing on with our page-by-page analysis of the Affidavit of Probable Cause, which led to the arrest warrant being issued for Mr. Kohberger. Today's episode begins at the very end of page number 4 and continues on to page number 5. Here, Detective Payne writes, DM locked herself in her room after seeing the mail. DM did not state that she recognized the mail. This leads investigators to believe that the unaliver left the scene. The combination of DM's statements to law enforcement, reviews of forensic downloads of records from BF and DM's phone, and video of a suspect video as described below leads investigators to believe the unalivings occurred between 4 a.m. and 4:25 a.m. During the processing of the crime scene, investigators found a latent shoe print. This was located during the second processing of the crime scene by ISP forensic team by first using a presumptive test and then amino black, a protein stain that detects the presence of cellular material. The detected shoe print showed a diamond-shaped pattern, and then in parentheses, similar to the pattern of a Vans-type shoe sole, end of parentheses, just outside the door of DM's bedroom, and then in parentheses, located on second floor, end of parentheses. This is consistent with DM's statement regarding the suspect's path of travel. Next paragraph. As part of the investigation and extensive search, commonly referred to in law enforcement as a, quote, video canvass, end of quote, was conducted in the area of the King Road residence. This video canvass was to obtain any footage from the early morning hours of November 13th, 2022, in the area of the King Road residence and surrounding neighborhoods in an effort to locate the suspect or suspects or suspect vehicles or suspect vehicle traveling to or leaving from the King Road residence. This video canvass resulted in the collection of numerous surveillance videos in the area from both residential and business addresses. I have reviewed numerous videos that were collected and have had conversations with the other MPD officers, ISP detectives, and Fed agents that are similarly reviewing footage that was obtained. A review of camera footage indicated that a white sedan hereafter, quote, suspect vehicle 1, end of quote, was observed traveling westbound in the 700 block of Indian Hills Drive in Moscow. We're going to end here because the continuation goes into page number 6. So here we see at page number 5, the very first mention of suspect vehicle 1, a white sedan. This video that Detective Payne is referencing will prove to be an extremely important piece of evidence that Detective Payne will rely on in asking Judge Marshall to issue a warrant that Judge Marshall did issue the same day as the Affidavit of Probable Cause was signed, and that was back on December 29th, 2022. Now, some comments elsewhere here within this page of the PCA, if I might, and as always, these are comments. These are thoughts. This is opinion rendered under the First Amendment of the United States Constitution. Purely opinions, commentary, rhetorical questions from time to time that we provide here at the Indie Zone. First, it appears that what Detective Payne is saying, this leads investigators to believe the unaliver left the scene. I'm not certain how the fact that when DM looked out and then closed the door and locked herself in, it does not say that she saw him leave through that second floor slider. And then, when it states here, the combination of various items, including downloads of records from DM and BF's cell phone, those texts and the indication of calls from those cell phones have not yet been released to the public. They were part of a motion in limine that the state of Idaho filed back in February of 2025, which Judge Hippler then used on the court order in limine, granting in part the state of Idaho's motion in limine. And in order to create the chart that he did, and you can take a look at it, it's available for you on the court docket, the court has included a chart that's stated a synopsis, the time of the text message, who the text message was to, who the text message was from. In order to create that chart, I believe, giving an opinion here, that the judge needed to see the actual text. The actual texts have never been released to the public. Next, the PCA is saying here that of all of the information that was available from all of the sources cited here up to December 29th, 2022, including the interviews that were taken by the Moscow Police Department, starting the day of the crimes, November 13th, 2022, the video surveillance that they collected, including from that very important 1112 camera located right next door to 1122 King Road, including all of the other evidence that they collected, they have now said that the timeline is not approximately, but that it is between 4 o'clock a.m. and 4:25 a.m. We're going to learn a little bit later on that suspect vehicle 1 was seen on that 1112 camera after 4 a.m. and before 25 a.m. So in other words, if the crimes continued until 4:25 a.m., how is it possible suspect vehicle 1 was captured on that 1112 camera in motion at 4:20, which would have been 5 minutes before the timeline of the crimes ended per this PCA. Next paragraph, this mysterious Vans type shoe print, diamond-shaped pattern similar to that of a Vans type shoe, just outside the door of DM's bedroom. And this is consistent with DM's statement regarding the suspect's path of travel. That would mean, I believe, that MPD felt that that Vans shoe print belonged to the suspect. There was nothing further that I know of in the case stating that it was determined Mr. Kohberger wore Vans type shoes and that this print belonged to him. And then the video canvas, we're going to get into a little bit more detail as the PCA goes on. But until next time, this is Kathy. Thank you for joining us here today.